SupaTea Podcast Show. It is a wonderful Saturday. Ooh, starting it off nice and tortoise like. And I felt like referencing a tortoise because of the wonderful Aesop fable of how the tortoise, even though they're moving slow, wins the race. And the reason why the tortoise always wins the race is because they don't stop going forward. The hare is like, oh, I got time. Let me take a rest over here. Let me do this, let me do that. And basically, essentially, in that fable of the tortoise and the rabbit gets so distracted that it loses focus that it's even having a race. Um, so yeah, um, Turtle Turtle Island, which is what this section of America was known as. The Americas, this section now known as the United States of America, was once viewed as Turtle Island. Uh, Although I'm a sun sign Taurus and a moon sign Pisces, and don't ask me where all the other planets are in my house. I don't know. But I do know those two dominant ones. Um, I move slowly. I move slowly. And today, just getting up and continuing my project that I started a few days ago. Being grateful for my network. It's taking me time to adjust to having a network because it's a new concept for me, like a physical network, not my spiritual network. Like that's not new, but my physical network growing and having having folks that each week when we meet, they're happy. Not saying that they're happy because of everything is perfect, but I add value to our meetings, our weekly cohorts, our weekly class. And it feels good to be with entrepreneurs because we're all in different levels of our businesses. And, you know, my longest standing career to date has been momming. And so I approach my business emotionally that way. And I've had to learn through trial and error that although, yes, my business is something that I created, it's not the same as creating a life, you know? So, yes, I'm passionate about my business, I'm protective over my business, I even have love for my business. It's still a business and it has to be handled as such. And having this new network of other entrepreneurs and mentors is giving me that insight so that I can handle the challenging things efficiently because it's tricky to handle challenging things when you're feeling emotional, you know, towards everything, you know. So I haven't talked a lot about my cafe on this channel because it's a very sensitive subject. I have let the world know that it's reopening, um, and I have shared that part. But the other part of my cafe was the disappointment of going into business and thinking because I had knowledge that I was going into it with wisdom, but you only get wisdom through experience. So When I first opened my cafe back in 2021, I thought I read the lease right. It didn't matter that I didn't meet with the owner of the actual brick and mortar space, commercial space that I leased. All that mattered was, you know, that the everything that was in the lease was good and to my satisfaction, and so it was. However, I learned in that experience right there that just because I'm coming at something from a lawful perspective doesn't mean that the other individual is coming at things from a lawful perspective. And I must say, and I'm going to say, because it is the truth, and it must be said, that a lot of the people who migrated here from Europe, their business practices uh, are not always ethical. Their focus, they don't look at the business as um, something that they're creating. And I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm just speaking for those who it's obvious that their practices are not ethical. They may be good with profits, they may be good with, manipulation, they may be good with those things, but they're ethically not at all. Ethically, there is no ethics, and we know that because they have to create in other aspects of business such as the government. I don't know why that's coming up, but I'm gonna let it out. They have to create, ethical standards, and it's like, as a human being, you just know what's right and what's wrong. We know this already. Ethics should not be something that has to be taught to people. If you have to teach ethics to people, what's going on? That's what's going on for real, for real. So yeah, unfortunately, I went into my commercial property lease with an unethical European descent man, and he was so used to and accustomed to just bullying and using his white male privilege to um, negotiate and move around, that I was going to just accept any and everything. And I will take accountability and say that when I opened in 2021, it was still actively during the pandemic. That was not a wise choice for me because, as a cafe, you want foot traffic. I was relying on DoorDash and Grubhub and things of that sort and thought that would be adequate enough. However, the foot traffic was something that was necessary, and that was something that was not there because people were just frightened to come outside. So, that I take accountability for. And this experience, guy that I went into this commercial lease with, um, he knew this. He knew this, but he wanted to make a quick buck. So, what did he get for me? I believe the rent was 2,000, which again, it was for a very, very small space. Um, so he got the first month, the last month, the next month. So we got a good 6,000 from me. And then he decided, oh, listen, ain't no leeway here, ma'am. I tried to uh, negotiate with him and let him know, listen, my foot traffic and my numbers are not, my projections are not adding up with my actual. Can you extend, some patience? And my voice, I don't know, I have the voice that I have. And sometimes, especially depending on my tonality, it is challenging to see what my ethnicity is. And because I never met with him directly, I only communicated with him over the phone and dealt with his agent, who was another woman. He didn't know what I looked like, and she may have described, me. Oh, this is some black lady from Brooklyn. She's really nice. And he was like, "Let me come see this black lady from Brooklyn." And I don't know what he expected when he walked into my cafe. I just know that I greeted him kindly. I offered him a matcha, asked him if he was there to pick up a package because I had um, arranged it so that people could, sort of like Amazon, where people go and pick up their stuff from a locker. It was a delivery service. I think this is like before the lockers got really popular. Um, there was a way to order and pick up from businesses your stuff. And so I had did that to bring in foot traffic, because people were definitely going to get their mail. Definitely coming to get their packages. And it was working, not as fast, but I was definitely building momentum, and it definitely was working as it doubled as marketing that I was not actually pocketing out for, because again, these people were coming to get their packages. So, I just had to sign for the deliveries and contact the people, and they would come get their packages. So I didn't know what this man walked into my cafe for, but I will never forget the experience, because when I asked him, would he like a cup of coffee, or would he like to try our matcha smoothies or shakes, he got very sarcastic and responded back with sarcasm of what he wanted from me. And he was like, if you cannot give this to me right here, right now, you're going to have to pack up your stuff and leave. And I was like, we are not like in a word of mouth. Like, we're in a actual lease agreement, sir. If you are making these demands, you're going to have to do this with the court. He turned beet red. He was not expecting that response. He was not expecting to be challenged. And then I further let him know. And there's a tape, because he sent one of his friends. One of my friends at the time was visiting. So on my other channel, Nikita Black, there is actual footage. Like, she thought of this because, again, um, now we may be in the program of, okay, video everything, but I definitely wasn't there at that time in 2021. So I wasn't thinking, oh, let me catch this man on video. I just was totally present in the moment with him. And he got very upset because I brought it to his attention that the truth, sir, you're in this current position because of what your forefathers did with my forefathers. So you can, if you choose to extend some, just some humanity. And he got very highly upset. And here's the irony of it. He got upset and raged out of there. I had to call the police on him. Yeah, I called the police on the person who owned the building because he was acting unlawfully. And he left before the police came. I do have reports, and of course, police reports are there. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they operate in that town. I don't know if the chief of police in that particular town takes payouts and buyouts, because then that would allow something to disappear. However, um, I don't know. So I can't say that that's what happened. I know that the reports were taken. I know that nowadays everything goes into the computer. So it's very hard to say something doesn't exist when it does, especially when you have a report number. Uh, so yeah, I had that experience, and right after he charged out of there, and the police came and left, it was a firehouse right there, and one of the firemen came in there, and he was so happy. He was so happy. He was like, I'm gonna take a cup of coffee. Ooh, he was upset. Ooh, nobody likes this man. Ooh, this, ooh, that, and he shared some information, and it gave me hope. It gave me hope until, because he did not have his demands met, he sent one of his folks and kept his word of changing the locks. He changed the locks on the cafe with all my stuff in there. I couldn't get to my stuff. I made another police report on that. Not two police reports, but guess what? He conveniently resides in North Hampshire somewhere. He doesn't even reside in the state. And because I'm from another state myself, they're I get some bleach. I'm moving around, people. I'm multitasking. Don't mind me. Their perception was I did not reside in the States, but I was a new resident to the state. And if I'm going to talk about the state's been good to me. The state has been good to me. It's not like, oh, the state is, um, you know, making everything perfect. No. But the state has provided me support. Support that I didn't even have in my home state. My home state, it was interesting. So that was my interaction with the fireman. And okay, I think the little silver, I don't know what they call these things, but it's not one of the things that I want in this house, like a centipede almost. Anyway, I went to go bleach it. I need to bring the bleach back with me into my office space. Yeah, so I'm releasing. It's a full moon. I'm releasing. I took that man's action very personal, even though it was just bad business. It hurted my feelings a lot. It hurted my feelings to see something that I built from the ground up. It was still building, actively showing up as my body permitted, which was most of the time 7 days a week. Showing up and serving customers and, all of that stuff. To have somebody just come and change a lock and now I don't have any access and go through the things, all of my cafe items, and then they tried to minimize it. No, I wasn't Starbucks yet. I have the capital of Starbucks, but I spent a pretty penny on my cafe equipment. I had customers' things in there as well too. Remember, I was having customers pick up their items, through the delivery service. So there was a whole bunch of that stuff in there that as a business owner, I was responsible for. And yeah, them changing the locks and then taking the stuff. I don't know what they did with it. I don't know whether they auctioned it off, whether they gave it away. All I know is all of that equipment and all of that stuff and it was just gone. And when I put in claims, I got backlash for my claims. When I filed in court, I was told, well, because this was a business, you cannot file yourself. And it was a very curious time because, of course, this judge was originally a European man of European descent. And so his thing, he allowed it to go all the way to trial. And my thing was, wait a minute, why did you allow it to go all the way to trial? If, as a business, in this particular state, you must have an attorney for a business to litigate in this state. Why did it go to trial? You just wanted to see what the heck I looked like, huh? They did. I play with the thought sometimes that there's legends about someone just like me. And people don't want to see her. They're like, Maybe this won't happen in my lifetime. Maybe this will happen in my son's lifetime. But I feel like there's legends. I think there's legends of indigenous people standing up and reclaiming, and that puts fear in some people because they feel they're going to lose things. But see, here's where I differ from some indigenous people. I differ because I have done a lot of healing, and yes, I'm releasing, and I'm talking about the experience with my cafe when we first operated in Montclair, New Jersey. But yeah, I've taken the time to do a lot of internal work. And because I have taken the time to do a lot of internal work, I'm not holding any animosity. I even offer that man who illegally closed my cafe and took all my cafe items and did whatever the heck he wanted to do with it. I offer him forgiveness. Now, will I still sue the heck out of him? Absolutely. And when? Absolutely. But it's not because I'm emotional. Now, when I first went to court, I was highly emotional. And when they dismissed the case, based only, not because they don't have the receipts, and I'm glad the courts have a copy of the receipts, not because of any missing paperwork, but because of a technicality. A technicality that makes it very challenging for a small new business. Because do you know how much these attorney fees are? They're not just a couple of $100s. Okay? When I finally got some savings to hire an attorney, okay, and these, I can't even call these savings. This was an inheritance. This wasn't savings. This was an inheritance. This was my aunt passing on, me being the executive of her estate, and getting a couple of grand. Now, some family members say I should have kept everything as the executive of her estate, but I didn't. I gave money to all of her siblings that were still alive. I gave money to the what they call us, the descendants. So me being her niece, my cousins, only have two of them, but I gave them both money as well. And yeah, that's what I did. So she had two, and then it's five. So that was 5K right there off the top right there. And I took care of her affairs, her funeral costs, and all of that stuff. So yeah, and I don't even know if I got to everything, but because it's still, I still want to go back and look because I feel she had more than one what you call it, even though it might have lapsed by now and it won't even be futile to see. But I felt like she had several policies, but I only became aware of the one, and again, it was small because it was going down, and it got shared. It got shared with the family. That's what my spirit told me. That's what she would have wanted done. So that's what I did. And I have no regrets for it at all. However, for me to retain an attorney, it was $3,500 to retain the attorney. Now, I'm thinking, okay, listen, your job is easy because, first of all, the case has already been there. So all you got to do is review the case. Um, all of the receipts, the police reports, everything is already in there. So you got to do that. But again, they're businessmen. So his objective was not for me to win. His objective was a profit. It's another man, but same objective. Profit. You need a profit. So I'm pretty sure they negotiated with the other side. And the other side may have given them some money. All I know is when they asked me for 5,000 more dollars, and all they did was file the case. They didn't keep up with the meetings. They didn't keep up with their consults. They didn't do any of that. Um, I was like, why am I giving you $5,000? If anything, this 3,500, these billable hours, you didn't even use all these billable hours. So then they had to figure out, okay, let's meet for 2 hours. I come to the Zoom, they ain't there. Oh, we billing you for that. What? So yeah, that's a whole nother lawsuit, which I almost forgot about, tell you the truth. I almost forgot about that one. But yep. So now I have a law firm. That's gonna be interesting. If they even still in existence, because they I was not the only one. Let's put it like that. I was not the only person who they was like, screw you, give us your money, and there's no guarantees now. There's no guarantees. People got really messy during the pandemic when they didn't know what the heck was going to happen, even those that had money. Because the guy that I leased the space for, he has a whole, from what I hear, he has a whole shopping mall in New Hampshire somewhere. Like, now I get that maybe businesses went out of business, you know. But still, like, you see, you have the land, sir. What the hell is wrong with you? You're wilding out, you know. You're being greedy at this point. Nonetheless, yeah, those are my business experiences. And I'm glad to have released and have grown. And again, as I was starting to say, because I have done a lot of my work, my internal work, I don't take it personal. And I'm not looking to disrupt nobody's life at all. However, I am rebuilding. I am reclaiming. I am acknowledging who I am. I'm not accepting the fake identities and the fake titles. I will. I am flourishing in all of my businesses. Cafe is just one. I'm flourishing in them all. I'm flourishing in all of my businesses. I am definitely coming not just with the profit, but knowing the importance of the profit. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful, grateful, grateful. Grateful for my network. They are some wonderful people who do care. And I'm looking forward to reopening. I almost abandoned it because on top of the business, there are other things that have importance in my life. And the other things that have importance in my life, I was because of the importance that these other things have in my life, I was willing to adjust. My reasoning was, hey, I could open a cafe up anywhere, and maybe it's better in different places, and da 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 da. And even though when I went to my most recent PT, it was like so clear. I always get to think because of the ride. It's a long, beautiful ride, and I always get to think taking that ride. So taking the ride back, I had the opportunity to think, and it was clear. Like that cafe is reopening in Montclair. You know, initially I was gonna come to another city, but they're like, no, you need to go right where you were because the people are looking for you and the people appreciate you. And the fact that I stood up to that guy and told him the truth, they are going to, yeah, they're looking for you and they're going to support you. You just have to do your work. You just gotta show up. And that cafe is not a small thing. I remember when the idea first came to me. It was a divine idea that came to me. I was working public safety in New York City, and I would walk past this very teeny tiny commercial space every day going to work. My public safety was done at a corporate building out there. And every day, every day, every day, every day. And it would like call to me. I look at it, you know, I just keep on walking. And one day, coming home, I was waiting for my train, and I just asked the question, what could I do with that space? And when I asked that question, we'll be careful how you be asking the divine stuff, okay? Because I don't know what y'all experience is. I can only speak for my own. Baby, when I tell you the divine gave me a full, not everything, but a full answer. Cafe, da da da, ba da da da. That's how it came to me. And this is before matcha was even popular. Now matcha is popular. It's like, it blows my freaking mind. But yeah, I got the answer. That was not the space. And how I found out that that particular space was not the space was because I needed to sit down one day and do some work. And I am a Starbucks fan, okay? I will always be a Starbucks fan. And but I didn't sit in Starbucks. I sat in Pret. So Pret is also a cafe, but Pret has fresh baked goods. I think it's called Pret Baguette. I think I'm pronouncing it right. But anyway, it's in the same vicinity um, of the commercial space. And when I sat there, it came so clear, like the download came so clear to me. And it was like, you need to have a space where you need to create an environment where people can sit down and work and holistically, you know, like because of the atmosphere, the music, the staff, your products, your items, they basically can remember their divinity. They may come in there just for a matcha latte. They may come in there to buy a piece of metaphysical jewelry. They may come in there for open mic. They may come in there because they're having a business meeting. They may come in there because they're working remotely and it's a space that is conducive for them to work efficiently. They may come in there for many reasons. But the one thing as a business owner, I get to set the environment. I get to set the frequency. And even though, yes, people are coming and contributing their own energy and frequency and all of that, how I am structuring my management, my baristas, I'm not overworking nobody. No, just because you're a barista doesn't mean you have to work 12 hours. Or just because you're a manager doesn't mean you have to work necessarily 12 hours. I want my managers to be able to work, have their lives, be well compensated, and enjoy the work that they do. I think it is such good management when your employees like to come to work. They're not coming to work, oh, because I have to do this. I have to get this money. I have to pay this bill. Yes, bills are a part of our society. We know this. But how many people actually love what they do? How many? All my employees will love it. All my employees will love what they do. And it's because I'm creating that environment. I'm creating an environment to show them my appreciation. I'm creating that environment with how I curate the space. I'm creating that environment by compensating them handsomely, Yeah, I'm creating that environment. They're gonna, I'm telling you, mark my words, it's gonna be a whole conversation of Mama Matcha Cafe being one of the best places to work, because this is going to be integrated into the business model and how we operate. Yeah, I'm grateful, very very grateful, very very grateful. So yes, there may be legends that described indigenous people standing up, and I can get why those of European descent could be scared out of their minds, but I'm not here to take anything from anybody. Um, I'm here to create. I'm here to cohabitate, co create. I'm here to make things better. Because here's the one thing, and a lot of people don't feel that this is accurate, but I do. From my personal experiences, there's a lot of people of European descent who um, have done their own inner healing, who have tuned in and tapped into the divine. Look at Nikola Tesla. He was definitely tuned in and tapped into the divine. Look at Albert Einstein. He was definitely tuned in and tapped into the divine. And although their peers and their family may have not made those same choices for themselves, those who did, look at Louise Hay, who have tuned in and tapped into divinity, which is all around us and within each of us. Yes, even those of European descent, they also have divinity within them. So when they remember that and they tune in and tap in with that, they're not fearful no more. They don't feel like, oh my God, this person's going to take all of this stuff that my great, 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 great granddaddy stole. If anything, those who are tuned in and tapped in, who do still have um, accessibility to what people would consider wealth, the most intelligent thing to do would be to give back, and not just only to their own clubs and their own cousins, but to just give back to humanity. And those, I believe, are the philanthropists. Not saying all philanthropists are of European descent, but those are the people who are philanthropists in the world. They realize how we're all interconnected. They realize that we share the same planet. They're not trying to hoard and keep, they're not fearful of anything. They may be aware and prepared, but they're not fearful. And they're living really, really, really wholesome lives. And I just imagine us all living like that. Like, what would the planet look like, if we were profiting off of peace and not profiting off of war? What would the planet look like if people were tuned in and tapped into their divine nature? What would it look like? What would it feel like? I want to experience it in this lifetime right here. And all that I do, whether it's business, community, spiritual, all has that as the core. So I'm grateful for the support and the guidance that I have spiritually. And I'm also grateful for the network that is growing physically. Um, there's some wonderful people, and I feel it when I communicate with them. And I don't know what's going on in their personal lives, but I do know that these people care about the success of our businesses and of our families. And because they care, I'm not going to go too far from them. And here's another thing, though. They are a nationwide. Just had to throw that out there. They are nationwide, because none of the people that are our mentors, our instructors during this business cohort, none of them are local. They're on different time frames and everything. So, but it's all good. They show up. We do the class, and I know I have their support with my business, and that means a lot to me because initially it was just me all by myself. I told my friends about it, or the people who I thought were my friends. One person came up, but they did not come up by themselves. They brought um, their adult child with them, and their adult child um, need to heal. I don't know where they are with their adult child right now, but their adult child needs to heal. And, you know, um, once I saw their adult child was bringing drama and starting conflict, I detached and I separated. And I had to eventually detach and separate, even though I tried to see, check in and see, okay, have you grown? And I'm sure they're growing. I'm sure they're okay. But it's just certain things, keeping schedules, showing up. Those things are important, and I know they are important, and I'm laughing because my college, my college life was very interesting since so far because they know Miss Bay coming. If Miss Bay says she gonna be there, I'm coming. Now, am I gonna be there at that time? It depends on what it is. It actually depends on what it is. I ain't gonna front and be like, yes, I'm always prompt. Nope, it depends on what it is. If it's a show, if it's a concert, I'm expected to perform in, I'm gonna be there on time. If it's a class, I might not be. I might not be. I might not be. I might not be. And I know that it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. That's all I can say. It's the truth. It's my truth. And that may give people the wrong impression of me, that I don't care. It's not that I don't care. It's that I have to do a lot before I actually leave the frickin' house. I don't just get up and brush my teeth and wash my face and run out into the world. Like, I have to prepare myself for the world, you know? So, that means that it takes me at least 3 hours to get ready. So if there's a performance, yes, I'm up 3 hours earlier to prepare myself for this. If it's a speaking engagement or, even my what you call it, I've been showing up for my business cohort on time. Now this last time I was tardy. I wasn't tardy because um, of anything but the fact that I was considering not showing up. Yeah, I was considering not showing up, and I'm so glad I did. And I joked with them and told them I'm not coming next week because they're having class on my born day, and I just feel like I should be celebrating. But I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna get cute. I have no idea what I'm doing on my born day, which is in a couple of days. But I know I'm gonna look good. I know I'm gonna look good. I know I'm gonna feel good. I know I'm gonna be having fun. I know I'm gonna be with genuine folks who really love and care about me. I won't be with nobody who don't. Like, and I'm enjoying it. And then the very next day, there's a whole gala that I get to dress up for and go and eat food that's catered. And they catered for me because we're celebrating all of the graduates. But, I'm definitely going to get me a tiara and make it do what it do. Yes, I is. So, happy Saturday, everyone. I'm glad I came on here to do this podcast today. And I hope everybody all the best. I'm going to unplug back from, I'm pretty much unplugged now. But yeah, I'm going to completely unplug. I don't stay plugged in. I don't. Only thing I stay plugged into is the divine. And the divine lets me know when I need to take a break. If I'm feeling emotional, overwhelmed, oh, it's time for me to take a break and look in the mirror at myself. And not just look in the mirror like, oh, okay, I see you, I see you. No, I need to look within. When I say look in the mirror, I mean look within. What's going on? Why you feel this way? What's going on with you? And not to be critical of myself, but to be self aware. Are you feeling this way? Are you feeling this way based on somebody else's behavior? Oh, guess what, self? You don't got no control over nobody else's behavior. It's okay. What happens? The one thing for sure that's happening is better and better. That I can tell you for sure. I'm going to talk very briefly about my dating life. I first was like middle of April. I was like, okay, these guys, men don't operate how they used to back in the day. They see a lady, they approach her. If they really like her, they stay consistent, and they don't act like that. They different. So let me be aware of that. And there was a young man in my age group, in my class, and he actually did approach me initially, the beginning of when I first started going to the school. But then his follow up was a little all over the place, like the way he speaks and all of that. And I was just like, okay, you're not about to speak to me like that. Mm-mm. You talk to those other people like that. I'm a whole lady. Like, yes, I'm in the hood, but I'm still a lady. So please approach me like a gentleman. And if you're not a gentleman, then you're probably not the right person for me. And there's many aspects to me. There's my lady aspect. Yes, there's some thugalina in me. Yes, there's some nerd in me. Yes, I have my whole spiritual aspect that continuously pushes me upward and forward. So the thugalina now at 43 is not the same thugalina of 23 or 33. Okay, this thugalina is different. This lady is different. This nerd is different. Like all of those different aspects of me. Yeah, it must be some type of compatibility. And if there isn't, then I don't know how it's going to work, So, long story short, I made a decision and said, you know what? Let's have a conversation. It was easy to have the conversation because they were in my class. And so I found them, and like their contact information and whatnot was not completely deleted from my device. I'm laughing. Oh my God, I'm laughing because I'm going to get back to that, because that we had somewhat of an actual date, somewhat. But there was somebody else who had caught my interest, and I had their contact information in my device, and they just, I wouldn't say they gave me their ass to kiss. They made an executive decision that harmed me, affected me negatively financially. That's the accurate. They made an executive decision that affected me negatively financially. And because this was an individual that I had grown interest of, it hurt. It hurt my soul. I tell you, it hurt my soul. It hurt my soul. I boo-hooed and grieved because I was just like, oh, this is no. And I took all of their contact information out of my devices, and I'm a Taurus, so I'm quick to block a motherfucker. I ain't gonna act like, I'm quick. I'm getting better where I'm not doing it immediately. I'm like giving people time. Like, okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of time, and then you don't take no accountability. You just show up like nothing happened. If you was inconsistent, now I'm not saying nothing. I'm blocking you. I'm not telling you. I'm not having no argument. I'm not having no discussion. We're all adults. I'm not gonna say never, but I'm not interested in cougaring, okay? Although cougaring at this point in time, with what's out there, I joke with a family member of mine because she's, cougaring. And I told her, shit, girl, that might be the best option to train a motherfucker. At least this person is young and experienced. They're an adult, but they're young and experienced, but they want to learn. Okay, let me teach this motherfucker something. Because the other motherfuckers who are mature adults, they think they know and they don't know, and they're not even trying to find out. They're just like, whatever. There's so many other people that don't have the same requirements, so they just keep it pushing forward, and I ain't mad at them for that. I ain't mad at nobody for that. Like, go ahead, do you, boo. Like, thank you. Like, I might have gotten emotionally involved or whatever, but thank you. I know how to self-regulate. I know how to bring me back to me and be open and receptive to another great possibility. And the possibilities keep getting better. I just gotta say that. I gotta say that. So let's go back to the young man in the class. Yeah. Um, we were talking on the phone on a daily basis. I was feeling the vibrations that we were exchanging, and so we decided to spend some time outside of class together. Um, Not horrible, not great. Because they were under the influence, and I was not. I didn't even have a drink, and people like, oh my God, you don't want the guy to drink. I don't want the abuse of substances. And yes, you can sociably drink, right? But where do you draw the line at? You can sociably, even perhaps engage in some Mary Jane. But for me, that's where it stops. Those are the only two things that you can do sociably. For me. Other people may feel different. And that's up to you. And I don't judge you if that's who you are and what you do. But that's not me. And I'm good. So yeah, he has weekend habits that do not go with me. And it doesn't make him a bad person. It just doesn't make him compatible with me. And I let him know. We communicated about it. It wasn't like, I found out about his weekend excursions with himself, with his own body, with the substances that he puts into his own body. And I was just like, screw you. Shoot, I was still like, let's go and do our testing, because even if we couldn't get into a relationship, I was thinking about letting them sample the goods. I was thinking about it. But no, I did have a conversation and did let him know, like, that doesn't work for me. And his response was, oh, I can stop that for you. And my reply was, no, you got to stop that for you. You can't stop it for me. You got to stop that for you. And I don't think they were prepared for that, and so that didn't go anywhere. I did not block him immediately. I left communications open for a few weeks, and there was one sporadic communication, like, hey, what you doing? Can I come hang out? And I was like, yeah, no. Why not? No. And then I got yesterday, and after several other weeks passed, not no accountability, not no, okay, I heard what you said. I've been thinking about it, just, yeah, I forgot that I had your information in here. We'll keep forgetting. And I wasn't sarcastic. I just was like, listen, I wish you the best. I want you to be a better version of yourself. And that's it. And I just left it like that, and then I blocked, because there's no need for us to continue having conversations, because it's obvious where you are, it's obvious where I am, and it does not align. So, like, all the best. And I hope he takes my words serious and don't just take it like, oh, is she talking her positive stuff? No, I'm serious about my optimism. I'm serious about the positive things I say. When I say I am wish you the best, I am not being sarcastic. I am being serious. That is a serious goodbye. See ya possibly down the road if our paths cross again. And that is not me, you know, being sarcastic. I do be sarcastic sometimes, but not when I'm saying I wish you the best. I mean those words from my soul. Like, I do wish you the best. I wish everybody the freaking best. Like, and the fact that I got to share maybe some time with an individual and get a deeper look within them. Oh, I definitely wish you the best. Like, you deserve it, but you gonna have to work for it. Like, it ain't just gonna come. Making me some turkey bacon. It ain't gonna come. I was gonna put these in some greens. So funny. So funny. You have to work for that best. This is not just gonna come automatically. But now maybe you will have some support because sister like me wished it. Who knows? Who freaking knows? But yeah, so that was that one. And then I met another one working. And this other one that I met working, they were like cool. They had good vibes and stuff. My whole mindset was focused on marketing my business at the time, um, just adding to the atmosphere. And, there were things that I wanted to do, go out and sing. And I didn't know where to go do that at, like, close by and stuff. And I didn't even mention that. But I did touch base, and I open communication. Open communication. Okay, the vibe is cool, but what's up with this and what's up with that? Because they was walking around with a wedding band on. And when I first saw the wedding band, I was like, that took you off the market. But then they vocally said, oh, I'm single. And so I was like, well, what's the wedding band for? Now, me, when I was not ready to date, I had a ring on my finger because I wasn't ready to date. And I just taken, that's a quick conversation. Taken, people keep it moving. So I asked if that was it. And they didn't say no, but they also didn't say yes. And next thing I know, we were on a date at a karaoke place. And it wasn't a date. It was more like a hanging out. We spending time with each other. I don't know if guys do dates. You gotta do dates. I don't even know what the hell a date is right now. So I'm gonna be honest with you. But we spent time together, karaoke. And, it was a mutuality of attraction, all that good stuff. And they were very gentlemanly. This one knows how to speak to a lady, And so the communications was cool. And it was a good evening. It was a good evening. I came in. They went their way. We communicated regularly for a few days. And then we worked again together. And then after that, the communication began to wane. And once that happened again, I did not immediately block. I stopped immediately doing it, okay? I'm getting better. I didn't immediately do it. So let me give some time, Give some time, this, that, and the other. In the midst of me giving the time, I end up, I'm not freaking good. I end up chit-chatting with somebody else. I like the chit-chatting. Bacon good. feel like I could fry it a little harder, a little crunchier. But yeah. I'm still here, people. I'm just not eating my bacon. Want some eggs with this turkey bacon. And we're gonna fry the other piece of fire. Anywho. Mm. Yeah, the new conversations I was liking a lot. Um, I'm breaking myself out of too soon emotional attachment. So the new conversation, I was mostly just all ready. The flow seemed natural until it didn't. But the conversations were going good. And the second one tried to pop up. When I say pop up, I mean just reached out to me. Not actually pop up. They don't know where I live. Not the apartment. They did make sure I got home safely after the karaoke. Right. I was so emotionally um, involved with the third one. Yeah, when the second one tried to come pop back up, like, hey, I was just like, hey. And then at 9 o'clock at night, where they were like, what you got planned this evening? It's 9 o'clock at night. What do I have planned this evening? Like, nah. I didn't even answer. It just was like, yeah, no. No. You don't, it's not how you do it, lady. Don't be consistently talking to a lady daily basis, even if it's via these devices. Then stop the consistency. Then send a message early in the day. Probably the early in the day should have been like, what's your plans? Not 9 o'clock at night. So now it just sounds like you bored. You didn't put a lot of thought into this at all. Okay. I'm not gonna say nothing. You'll figure it out. You're grown. You're older than me. No. No. And I will say, now the third one got inconsistent too. Have they been blocked yet? No. That depends on what they choose to do. I have withdrawn emotionally. And yeah, I have dealt with me, self-reflection, doing what I need to do around this house, doing what I need to do for my business, and being open to see what good possibilities are there. Because there's lots of good possibilities. Billions of people on the planet. And I just wish I had this mindset earlier. But I'm glad I have it now. Seeing people like Lisa Nichols and who else? A lot of women, successful women, have met their partner later, you know? So As much as I would love to pop out another baby with a family, there's plenty of children to adopt. There's plenty of people on the planet. And when it's that time for me to have that union, it will happen. We both will be equally invested emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. And that's the recipe for success for a happy, healthy relationship. No matter what type of relationship. It is. That's the recipe right there, people. I know it now. And so I'm not going to force, I'm not going to allow my own emotions or emotional involvement to dictate, oh, you should do this or you should do that. No, no, no. What's this person doing? Oh, okay. I need to stop that. Oh, it felt great though. Why would you stop what feels great? Because they're not doing nothing. And I'm not going to do it all. So, if it's not, if it has to be mutual. It has to just be mutual. It has to be mutual. It doesn't have to look exactly the same, but the efforts and the thought process, no, it has to be mutual. You can't get bored and call me like, oh, what's up? What you doing at 9 o'clock at night? Not responding to you. That's what I'm doing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to just close this door so you don't feel like it's a revolving door, because you can't. You didn't notice? And this may sound conceited, but I'm going to just say, if you didn't notice the awesomeness, if you didn't notice the authenticity, if you didn't notice the value, and I'm not saying monetarily, I'm talking about the things, monetary can't buy you everything. Somebody who actually listens to you, somebody actually is encouraging you, somebody that is intentionally, um, yeah, no, You didn't see the value of that? I don't know what to tell you. But it won't be available. It won't be available. That I can tell you. It won't be available. If you didn't see the value in that, it's not available. Simple. Continue to value what you value. I value those things in a person. And yeah, like I said, it has to be mutual input. So I can find those things and see those things, admire those things. And if there's not a mutuality, mutual input, I will just be like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, they're nice. Oh, they're a good person. Yeah. But there won't be any romance required. Yeah, oh, that's nice. They're nice. They have some good qualities. Maybe we work on something else. I'm gonna eat my breakfast. Unplug. I have released and said enough. Happy Saturday, everyone. Stay tuned. I will be back tomorrow for Soulful Sunday, 3 p.m. sharp. Peace.